Good morning, everybody. This is the day that the Lord hath made. We shall rejoice and we shall be glad in it. Yeah, I'm a few seconds late, but I had a very wonderful weekend, and we still got some rest of Sunday to go. So, super excited to be with you today. For those of you who are joining me for the first time, I'm Dr. Julia Royston of BK Royston Publishing, Royal Media and Publishing, the Book Business Boss Consulting, and for the Kingdom Ministries. This opportunity I have is to build people so that you can build the kingdom. So today we're going to be talking about I eagerly expect, but what? I eagerly expect. And Philippians 1 and 20 starts out in the NIV version, I eagerly expect. Now, I know most of the time I'm using the King James version, which, that's what I was raised on, was King James. And the um, King James Version says, give me one second. Because, if it's not in King James, like, really, is it for real? But it says, according to the earnest expectation and my hope, that in nothing I shall be ashamed, but with all boldness as always. So now also Christ shall be magnified in my body, whether it be by life or by death. Now, Paul's talking here, and he is preparing to for death, and I'm preparing to leave off the scene. So he is just writing up a storm, and leaving us with all types of not just nuggets but golden boulders about his life, and just really what you do, leave a part of your legacy. And but sometimes I feel like that you might not be uh, facing death or some apparent doom, but some people are not expecting anything. They may expect bad, they may expect, but sometimes your expectation happens with your preparation. And sometimes, even all your preparation, you can't control the result. I've often told you, and if you've been following me for any time, you know that I have control issues. I have uh, issues with control. I'm learning. As I'm getting older, I realize there are things that are definitely beyond my control, and things that it does its own thing. But I'm learning how to have an expectation of something, having a level of expectation. So this is kind of my thought processes, even when I do events. And y'all know I travel a lot. 2024, I did 40 events. I'm primarily partnering with other people. Um, I'm hoping to in the future get back to hosting my own events, but normally, I'm partnering with other people. I'm a vendor at other events, and I still have events coming up the rest of the year. But in my prayer time, in my preparation time, in my packing time, I have a level of expectation. um I cannot necessarily control the results, but I can control and have a level of expectation. Now, sometimes I have a high expectation and low results. And sometimes, even in that, oh, okay, whatever, I try to stay, I'm always positive. Even the kids ask me at the schools, uh, Miss Joey, you're always really positive. Yeah, I really do. But then I realized that, especially here lately, I've been going in uncharted territory. I'm going other places. And while I'm in the car with Brian Royston, 2 hours, 3 hours, 8 hours, 15 hours, I'm preparing him for where we're going. And what my thought process was investing any of the business money into this event. What am I anticipating to happen? Why am I even here? Is it a learning and educational uh, venture? And we're going to sell some books too? Is it a training thing? Is it a conference? Is it a professional development? Is it, you know, my primary audience I knew was not at one of my recent events, but I knew it was going to be a high learning and high exposure because I was walking in uncharted, unventured, a genre that I publish and I write, but I had not really fully, it hasn't grown like other ones. So therefore, when I did the event, my expectation was high on education, exposure, who are the main players, what are the tools and resources they have. But as far as selling books, my expectation was low because I knew they didn't know me. And I knew that there were hundreds of other people who were committed to the genre only. They were the forerunners. They were the ones who've been doing it a lot longer than me. So I came with my notebook and I came with my pen to learn. I was a student. Now, so I had high expectations for learning, low expectations for didn't know what the sales piece was going to look like. Okay. And so therefore I'm a curator all the time. So the things that I bring, the books that I bring, the product that I bring is always, you know, in testing mode to see what happens. But if I brought no books, if I brought no business cards, if I was ill prepared, I wouldn't even be able to test out the results. I wouldn't even be able, and there are some times that people have no expectations, little preparation, and they will have varied results. If you don't prepare to win, if you don't expect to win on any level, even if it's a learning, even if it's study, even if it's a research or work for Procter and Gamble, a R&D situation, if you have no, then your results are going to be varied because you're going to be ill prepared. And sometimes you think you're prepared and then you get there and you're like, ooh, wait a minute. And then there's some level of preparation you have to keep constant. So the event where the professional development or the learning was high and the product sales was low, but they asked me to be on a panel and talk about something I do and something I know, no preparation, none. It was just gut. What I know, oh, I was ready. When they said, you want to join us on this already 7-8 people panel, do you want to join? And I was the only person in the room that looked like me. I stepped up to the plate. Sure, I'd love to. I'd love to join this conversation. I was ready. So I had no expectations to being a part of the program at all. But when there was a door open and I was invited, I was ready. So this expectation thing is major, not just for people in business, but in your life. I meet people all the time that said, you know, I was encouraged, I was told, but I never did do anything with it. I never did finish writing that book. I never did take that class. I never did sign up for that. And now many years later, it's not that they're still alive. They can still do it. But that window of when you were the freshest, when you were the youngest, when you were the, you know, the raw talent, you didn't do it. You didn't step out. And it's not that it's too late or it's over, but the learning curve will be different. What you bring to it will be different. What it's requesting now in 2025 is going to be different for what it was in 1995, 2005, even 20 years. I was talking to a friend and she was just talking about, oh my gosh, when we did that interview so many months ago, so much has changed. Yeah, the world is moving even faster than it ever did. So your level of preparation, your level of expectation could be, you know, average. But if there's no preparation, if there's no constant training, and there's no constant keeping up, even if you're reading articles, You don't necessarily have to have a 4-year degree or certification. I've done enough going to college. Woo, Lord, and the parking and the passes and the registration and the long lines. Yeah, I'm done with that part. But learning, I'm ever a student because I want to keep up so that my level of result may vary. Now, sometimes this is the part we love. We love to have high expectations and high or even exceeding results. And that exceeding, of course, comes straight from scripture. Ephesians 3:20-21. Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think according to the power that's working in you. So your level of expectation, your level of preparation, your level of study to show yourself approved. It's all biblical, baby. You might think, oh, it's just gonna come by. No, you got to put some work into it. I've seen your works. I've seen your work. No. Whatsoever a man doeth shall prosper. So your level of expectation should lend itself to your level of preparation, your level of planning, your level of study, your level of everything that you do. And I've told the story before, but I was in a business conference, and then this young woman says, "Oh, I'm all into whatever her industry was," but I didn't see none of it. I didn't see any of it, and I was like, "Show me. You can talk it, but you got to see it." And so I recently I took my mother. Special shout out to Reverend Claude Royson because he had 87th birthday, and so we had a surprise party for him on last evening. And so Brian didn't go with me; my mother did, and she rode with me up and back, and we had a great time. And she had a great time, and of course, she's an extrovert and she loves people, and her head is, as the kids say, it's on the swivel because she likes looking at people, meeting new people, whatever. And by the time it's in, hey, Miss Daisy, everybody knows her name and everything. But I told her, I said, as much as I say what I do or whatever, you're now here from start to finish to see it and see how it works. See my thought process. What have I invested? My body, my time, my money, my energy, my effort. How I move, how Brian and I move when we travel. And so we invest in that. We invested in our time where we should be somewhere else. We're on our grind. We're focused on that. Now, as we get older, we'll be able to have less of that. But the beauty of that, she said, "Oh my." I said, "So if anybody says anything, now you have up close and personal inside look at what I have to do what I do every day." Because he's working to bless my efforts, my energy, my goals. So you're eagerly expecting what? Yeah, we have high expectations, and you should. You should. But there should be some prep with it. High expectation, there should be some energy. There should be some elbow grease. There should be some effort put in this process so that you can have high results. Now, will you have high expectations and sometimes low results? Absolutely. But I call those lessons. I call those the times and the seasons and, where I should be, where I shouldn't be, especially in business. Even in life, did I miss that opportunity at that season? Now, it still may happen. It still may be a win, but you don't know. So if you don't show up with any level of expectation or no level of expectation, then you won't know whether it was a lesson or, like what happened to me yesterday, it did a high exceeding result. I had a high expectation, I had high preparation, and I ended up with high results. Baby, you can't do no better than that. I rode down the highway saying, "Thank you, Jesus," the whole time. The host was like, "Hallelujah." We was in worship because we had high expectations, we had high preparation, and we received high and exceeding results. We had high expectations, but it exceeded even. It did the Ephesians 3:20. It went even beyond, above. I could even ask a thing because I didn't have it there. I had pretty high expectations. I thought mine was pretty high. I had high effort, but I'm eagerly expecting to match. Oh, no, no, no. But it exceeded. And sometimes getting that exceeding is just being in the room, just being, you know, because even after I told Brian the thing to happen, he said, some people, they just, they weren't ready for that. They weren't prepared. You were prepared. They showed up, but they weren't prepared. So you eagerly await what you working on. You don't have to tell nobody, I'm cool with the move in silence. I'm cool with the, I don't have to make an announcement to have it done. I'm good with that. But success leaves clues. So I should be able to see some movement. You just, you weren't the speaker, but you showed up at an event and you took a selfie. You was buying the speaker's book, who was the main keynote. Yeah. You were in the room, but you was midway toward the front. You wasn't sitting in the back. You went to the workshop. You paid the money to get on the plane and be in that VIP room. You went there. I could see it. You don't have to announce it, but I see it. You make an announcement about what you're doing. So you're eagerly expecting what? What are you doing? Even if you're not in a place to do, you can only do a small part. You're only in research mode because your children are small. You're only in discovery mode and taking one class a semester because you are taking care of an elderly parent or elderly relative. You are only able to commit to doing something once a week or once a quarter, as opposed to other people who can do it every day. That's all right. You're moving one step at a time, one phase at a time. It's not required that we all move at the same pace, but we should be given the same level of energy and effort and at least moving toward, whether that's baby steps, whether you're in a Learjet, you're moving toward. Timing is everything too. But as long as you hit it toward a goal, it's like I tell people all the time, and then as I say, I'm gonna move on to my church announcements. But it's like I tell people all the time, if you come to me with the issue that you feel that I'm an expert in, and I can at least give you a tool, a nugget, a boulder, whatever, to help you move in that direction, I'm your girl all day long. I am. Okay, I'm worried about this book. I got this fiction thing going on. I struggle with formatting. I want to get out there more. I want to promote my book. I want to do better on social media. You come to me with a problem, even if I don't know, I usually have some reservoir or network of resources. But if I'm talking to you and you haven't put no clothes on, you haven't got out of bed mentally, you still sleep, you still haven't figured out what you want to do, I can see 10 gifts on you, but you haven't put no effort in one. You haven't even got a no. You didn't even call. You didn't even email to get a no. I'm not saying you had few no's and you trying to tweak and adjust, and I'm good with that. But you haven't even called nobody. You haven't even asked no questions to even get a no. You don't know. Your first one could be a yes. Hello. I'm not your girl. I'm not the one. I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make him drink. I cannot. I can't do it. I don't have the capacity to it. Now, baby, if you say, all right, I fell down, I scraped my knee, I put a bandage on it, they had to give me stitches, but I think I'm back. All right, we can go. But if you never start running and to fall down, if you never, I got some friends I can refer you to, but that's not my gift. That's not my call. That's not my gift. That's not my call. Because I want you to win. And I'm gonna help. Even if I don't know, and even if I can't do it, I'm gonna find somebody to help you do it because I want you to win. So, what are you eagerly expecting? Even if we have to put a timeline to it, even if I have to say, you might want to hold on to that. Because people come to me, I talked to somebody yesterday. Oh, girl, I'm in the middle of an MDiv. You sure are, and you need to stay right there. And after you finish that and you have that paper, then think about what book you want to write. Some people, I'm in the middle of my dissertation. Yeah, and we should publish that dissertation. And the timing is not right for that. That's a high priority for me, for you. But otherwise, you ain't started. You didn't go to the school. You didn't register. You didn't look at the free webinar. You didn't even have to get out of bed. You didn't have to go nowhere. You didn't have to put clothes on. Just look at your phone. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna pray, but I don't think I'm your girl. I think I'm your person. I'm not your person. Forget publisher. I'm not your person because that pull and because I feel like I'm leaving clues when I show up. When I come through and you meet me, when you see me online, I'm leaving clues. So follow the yellow brick road. Follow the clues. And if you need me, you can always talk with Royston.com. Let's have a conversation about it. But what are you eagerly expecting? What is it? You may have to take some quiet time and figure that out so that you can live your best life. Coming up at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in approximately, I don't know, 7 minutes. I'm talking too much. Because I really want you to win. I really, really, really want you to win. So Live Your Best Life is right there on envision-radio.com. I'm proud to have been bringing it for 5 years and celebrating with envision-radio.com and all that they're doing. At 11 o'clock, Spike Davis and Friends show comes on Tuesdays at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Book Business Ball Show. Now, I do want to stop there. The Book Business Balls podcast. Subscribe. I've got 3 seasons and a half of season 4 almost up, and they're there, the replays. That is more breadcrumbs of 17 years of pain, agony. Writing, season 1. Publishing, season 2. Promotion, book launches, season 3. Season 4 is the book business. Lord, be my helper and keeper. Season 5, we're going to turn your book into a business. Yeah, we already have 2026. The Lord be my helper and keeper. Already mapped out. That's what he told me. Yeah, I don't wait till 2026. I've already been seeking him in sackcloth and ashes already for what 2026 is if I live. For my books, go to Spirit Filled Christian Bookstore in Birmingham, Alabama. Next Chapter Bookstore and Gift Shop inside Ben's Boys. They're in Greensboro, North Carolina. Brew and Sip. Congratulations to Brew and Sip. I've gotten a lot of compliments. Girl, I walked in there, Brew and Sip, and there you were. Yes, ma'am. That's where I was. Brew and Sip Coffee Bar in Louisville, Kentucky. Packer Lane Way. Janami Books, 18th Street in Louisville, Kentucky. And the Book Nerd fam. Please, please, please. And then coming up the rest of this month, I'm home, but I'll be at Mindfest, Roots 101 Museum, representing Envision Radio, and as well as I'll have my books available for sale May 31st at Roots 101 Museum in Louisville from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And then next, June 13th to the 15th, I'll be at Elevate Your Classroom in Nashville, Tennessee. That's at the Gaylord. Woo! Pray my strength, because that's a huge place. At the Gaylord. And looking forward to that. Honored to be a part of that. Looking forward to that. I have high expectations and looking for high results too as well. And then on June 21st from noon to 8 p.m., I'll be in Indianapolis at the Madam Walker Legacy Center's 4th Annual Legacy Fest block party. So we'll be outside. Woo! Look for the tent. Woo! Look for the PK Royston Publishing signs. Look for books. be a part of that legacy. And we love you always and looking forward to all that God has in store for you. JuliaAKRoyston.com is all my websites and online stores. Talkwithroyston.com if you're interested in publishing or writing your own business or writing your own business. Well, that too, writing your own book to turn it into a business. And, or you just said, I like what you do, Julia, but I need some advice. I need a conversation with you. Let's talk about it. Talkwithroyston.com. That's the best way to get in contact with you. Let's see who's joining me this morning. Ah, well, come on, Miss Terry Miller, looking beautiful today. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Well, hello, good morning. Thank you so much, um, uh, Dr. George Burney. How are you? You and your wife? You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. The Bernies are in the house today, and I'm so glad. Glad everything. Ooh, y'all up early. Ooh, what's north? The great Northwest. Y'all are early today. Y'all up early. But God is good. I love you both. And so, you guys have a fantastic rest of the day and a great start to your week. Be blessed in all that you do. Have a great day. Bye bye. Until next time. Bye bye.